My name is Jerusalem Truth, and I wanted to give you a very personal welcome to the inaugural video on this channel, Temperance Apothecary. This is the esoteric or spirituality arm of my already existing business, where I make candles, body butters, and teas with love and intention, each one being based on a different tarot card, but I can give you all more on that later. I do want to give you a little bit about me before we get into this reading, so you know who you're listening to. You can see if you align. It's totally fine if you don't, and if you do, get cozy and subscribe. I am an artist, tarot reader, astro hoe, woo lady, and hoodoo baby. I say all that to say that besides reading tarot for the past 8 years, with a name like Jerusalem Truth, I'm sure you can imagine that I got it honest. My background is in Christian spirituality. I am a PK, and since then I have expanded and learned and grown so much, learning about hoodoo, other West African divination, and ATRs, and all that fun and amazing stuff. Align more with a Western or ATR approach, if you will. But with that being said, I consider myself a divine vessel for all aligned and benevolent spirit guides, ancestors, loved ones, and the like. Make sure you take what resonates and leave what does not. I am so excited for this space. It's really a long time coming, and I'm not even sure how it took me almost 10 years to start doing these, but better now late than never. And some might even argue that, am I late or am I right on time? Today's video will be a collective, what can we expect for the month of March? And I will be following it up with a pick a card that will come a little bit later. But for now, I just wanted to get a general sense of what we can expect for the collective, and we'll be sharing this here. So if you like, please comment down below whatever messages stuck out to you. And I'm looking so forward to the work that we're going to do here. So without further ado, let's get into the reading. So one thing you should definitely know about me is I never know my tarot deck names. In fact, as you can see, I don't even keep them in the boxes. I do, however, plan on using a pretty recognizable deck. I feel like if you have cut the deck on the King of Cups, so that's interesting, and then Six of Swords reverse, but let me not get ahead of myself. And I feel like if you have been around the block, you've seen more than a handful of these tarot videos, then you will recognize these decks. I know this is the Neo Tarot deck. I think this is my second tarot deck I ever got, so that's how you know you all are very, very special. And then this is a newer deck that I can't remember off the top of my head. Wait, Queen of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Okay. But we won't get into that right now. I'll make sure to add all those details down below. Oh my gosh. That's how the tarot girlies do it. Oh, let me not hit my mic. Okay, so I actually did a quick Google search and I found out that this deck is the Modern Witch Tarot deck. So I will be taking a few cards from there and a few cards from the OG Neo Tarot deck, and we will be talking about what the collective can expect for the month of March. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Okay. Let's get into it. I have a few questions that I would like to ask Spirit, as well as you, as you're watching. Oh, okay. Now something to know about me. My spirits be chatting. Okay, they're very loud. So they already gave us 3 cards that I have not flipped over. Like so, like that. On what can the collective expect for the month of March? Let's go ahead and do one more. And all right. Well, sounds like we got jumpers across the board. And this one came out face up. There's another tarot reader I love, Lunar Light Tarot, who says if it fell on the floor, that means ×4. So it's the Hermit card, big Hermit energy for the month of March. And then I'm just going to get a few cards. Okay. I'm going to get a few cards from the Modern Witch Tarot. It looks like 2 already fell on the floor. Mind you, I was going to ask very specific questions. You know, what are we being asked to release? What's coming towards us? But I see Spirit said, don't even worry about it, mamas. Let's just go. So we're just going to go. I'm going to be obedient. And you want me to pull 2 more cards? And this one. Okay. On the bottom of the deck, we have the Eight of Swords reversed. We gain 3 in the month of March. And on the Neo Tarot deck, we have the Empress reversed, which is interesting. I'll have both of those at the bottom. How I've learned to read tarot is that it's at the bottom of the deck. It's the kind of subconscious energy of the reading, but also what the reading is not about, if that makes sense. So I do believe that we are freeing our mind, releasing the wiggle in the month of March, the month of Arch. And I immediately am getting the fact that this is an incubation period, right? The Empress represents the mother. It represents creative energy, fertility. And this reversal doesn't make me think that we are not as fertile or abundant as we are meant to be in March, but it feels like we're waiting a beat before we show the world the baby. You know what I mean? Which makes sense because March, the majority of March is the retrograde Mercury, and which makes sense that the Empress would show up reversed here as a kind of incubation period, based on the fact that March and the majority of the month of March is going to be under the Mercury retrograde in Pisces or Aquarius if you follow sidereal astrology as I do. And then we have the shadow period after that. So the shadow period actually takes us into about the first week of April. So that makes sense. But let's start with the cards we pulled from the Neo Tarot deck. So the first card, or actually let's turn over these 3 jumpers we got. The first one is the World reversed, followed by the Devil reversed, and this is the last of the third, and the Four of Cups. So these 3 came out together like this. Oh, will it zoom? I think it should zoom. It is not. I don't mean zoom, I mean focus. It's not focusing, but just so you can see, we have the World reversed, we have the Devil reversed, and then we have the Four of Cups. It should be a little more focused than this. So give me a second. We're gonna adjust some things. My camera did die, but we are so back. Thankfully, I had a charger right here. It's not plugged in. But where we left off was picking 3 cards from Spirit about what we were being asked to receive. We had the Four of Swords jump out. The Hangman called my name. And the Six of Pentacles. Wait, this is really beautiful. Talk about receiving. This is literally the card of give and take, of reciprocity, if you will. And I think that it being sandwiched in between the Four of Swords and the Hanged One lets me know that we are being asked to receive this rest without looking to give horse in the mouth. You don't need to make excuses for your rest. You don't need to make excuses for why you want to stay at home. You don't need to make excuses for why you actually want to take a beat to think about that thing that someone told you, or the job offer, or again, this is Mercury retrograde. This is a time to revisit. One of my favorite things about retrograde, it's not super scary to me. I have Pisces Mercury with the stellium, so I always exist in the space of retrograde, if you will. But the way I like to think about retrogrades, which I got from the People's Oracle, Dana Lynn Knuckles, shout out to her, review. I'm brain farting. Mercury retrogrades, or retrogrades in general, are times for review. There are times for renewal. There are times to revisit. It's time to re-edit. All the re's, right? Just bringing you back. Gotta flip that thing and reverse it. So March is asking you to revisit the places where you thought you could get away with skimping out on the rest. The places where you thought you had to hit the gas because it's March now, and if I don't do it now, then it's not at, no. We are being asked to receive our rest graciously, because this is what we've been asking for. And when we rest, when we allow ourselves to prepare for what's to come, because have you ever wanted to go do something and had a really amazing weekend planned? Ooh, I set a timer for the end of this reading, so maybe we'll wrap up on this note. But have you ever had a really amazing weekend or day planned with someone, and the way your week turns out, you actually are super, super tired on the day of the thing you were excited for? And so you go and then you're exhausted and you can't even fully enjoy it. It's not that it diminishes the experience, but it does make it different. It's not how you pictured it in your head because you didn't think that you'd be tired or sleep deprived or hungry or what have you, right? So the month of March, we are being asked to receive our rest graciously so that we can prepare for what we need to receive. We can prepare to receive what we've been asking for, as well as being in a place to actually give it, because you can't pour out from an empty cup, just as you can't receive something that you aren't ready for. If you're in the gym and you try to lift a weight that's too heavy for you, you got to go down a couple notches, and that's okay. You just work it up with your reps. And then by the time you're ready to do that, you can actually get the goal you want. You can actually do the reps that you were aiming for. And so the month of March is asking that we receive our rest graciously so that we can then be prepared with open hearts, open hands, open minds, open spirits to allow what is being called in to come in. So that's really, really cool. And last but certainly not least, I'm going to take a card each. Please give me one card, Spirit, of a final message. Actually, we'll do two. A card that is a final message for the month of March and what we can expect. And then a final card for a word of encouragement for the month of March. 7 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. Love that. And then over here, same thing. So may I get a final message from the Modern Witch Tarot on what to expect for the month of March. And finally, may I get a word of encouragement. Ooh, 2 of these ones to come out. May I get one card for a word of encouragement? One card, please. Thank you. Ooh, Knight of Pentacles. Okay. Let's start with the words of encouragement since I flipped that one over for the Modern Witch Tarot. Okay, this is a great pairing. Words of encouragement coming directly from the quartz. For the month of March, we have the Queen of Swords, which is one of my personal favorites, one of my ancestors. Shout out to you, Gramir, but y'all learn more about her later. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles. Keep it cute and keep it pushing. That is what the month of March is asking us to do. The Queen of Swords minces no words, right? And she gets a really bad rep about being bitchy or blunt or what have you. And she can be all of those things. We contain multitudes. I also am using she, her pronouns because, as I said, the Queen of Swords typically represents my great-grandmother as an ancestor, but this is gender neutral. So they, as the Queen of Swords, typically get a bad rep, and she is all of those things. However, the Queen of Swords doesn't play with other people because she don't play about herself. One thing my great-grandmother did not play about is all the things she wanted to accomplish. She was curious, she was vibrant, she was connected until the day she literally perished from this earth. And I am getting this as a word of encouragement in the month of March to say that even though you are still, that does not mean you are not without your faculties. That does not mean you are outside of your power when you are still. The Queen of Swords is not moving either, but that's because they are rested, comfortable in their position and in their throne. So in the month of March, the word of encouragement you are receiving, particularly from the Neo Tarot deck, is to keep it cute. Keep it cute. You gotta do too much. And you also don't have to say too much, because when you say what you mean and you mean what you say, other people get the memo. Ooh. When you say what you mean and you mean what you say, other people get the memo, period. And the Knight of Pentacles as our word of encouragement for the month of March from the Modern Witch Tarot deck is, again, telling you to keep it moving. Now I'm hearing, again, I'm an artist, I'm a musician, so I'm always channeling songs. Spirit is always sending me songs. And I just heard Keke Palmer's Keep It Moving. Keep it moving, yeah, you know? But that's exactly what this is. And she's a Virgo. I'm not sure what her sign is sidereally, but Knight of Pentacles. You don't have to announce every move you make. And again, you are being made still, not because you aren't making motion, not because you aren't moving forward, but because you're shaking them shackles off so you can dance. And you're shaking those shackles off so you can then present this pentacle to the rest of the world. The Knight of Pentacles is also the slowest knight, right? And again, it tracks with the month of March and the retrograde that we will be experiencing essentially the entire month of March by just taking it slow. Take it easy. You go get there when you get there. And you're never late because you are time. Remember that. And then these two cards were the last cards for what we can expect in the month of March. We got, this is so funny. These cards have been like intercommunicating with each other. The Six of Coins or Pentacles reversed and the Strength card now. This is reminding me of a message I received for the month of March from an amazing, wonderful hoodoo mother and tarot reader, also on YouTube, Jada K Story. Make sure you check her out. Gave to me for the month of March, which is, don't give it if you ain't got it to spare. Okay? In the month of March, as we saw, what we're being asked to receive is rest, so that we can receive what we've been asking for. And I think with the Six of Pentacles reversed in the other deck, it's actually telling us to lean into that rest. You aren't meant to be giving anything more than what you have. In fact, you're not even really meant to be giving what you have right now. How do you receive while you're in a stillness? How do you receive while you're not doing anything, while you're not giving things back to anyone else? Allow yourself to be adorned, allow yourself to be gifted by the universe, by your friends, by your homies, by your pet. Allow yourself to receive what you're meant to receive and not immediately throw it back out or give it back out or feel like you have to keep giving of yourself in the month of March. And last but certainly not least, and an excellent card to end on, is Strength. It is a feat to choose choices that are loving and aligned with you, that may upset other people, that may disrupt a version of you that you are used to, or that frankly is just uncomfortable. It is really awkward to do so, but once you do it, you're able to tame the beast. The month of March, we are taming the beast. And again, it is not a beast in a negative connotation, but a beast in, think of that kind of ferocious, dominant side of yourself, that will that exists inside of you, that wants you to move, that wants to act quickly and now and impulsively. We're making amends. We're reworking our relationship, again, coming into loving alignment with those sides of ourselves in the month of March, so that we can move forward with strength, with bravery, with our own courageousness, because we've sat with it. We know, it responds to treats, or we know it won't listen when it hasn't had its daily meal. And we have all these different XYZ things that we can say and point to about ourselves. And so the month of March is asking us to sit with ourselves, survey the scene, decide what is coming, what is going, as in it's going, it's not coming with us. And then allowing that strength to fortify and build up your own confidence and build up your own excitement for what's to come. Adorn yourself, right? This lion also has a flower lei on it. So you're taming the beast, not because you hate the beast. Again, we're not shaming ourselves into the better version of ourselves. We're loving ourselves and making choices that are in alignment with where we are headed and what is being presented to us in the visions we are having now in the month of March. So that is what I have for this collective reading on what to expect for the month of March. I hope you all enjoy, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day.